I want to talk about another programming concept that you're going to see in just about any language that you pick up, although it might be a little bit different here than what you've experienced with those other languages. If you're brand new to programming, you've picked up a great language here in Python to start out with. It's pretty straightforward. It's kind of geared towards the way that we typically read, with not a bunch of fancy extra stuff added to it. So you've picked an excellent one to start with. Now the concept that I want to get into here is comments. Always a good idea to leave comments inside of your code. Think about this for a moment. You've been banging away on your keyboard all day, banging out this program within Python. Now, as you've been going through, you've been figuring things out, and how is it best that I should write this, and how should I approach this scenario, and so on. Now, at the end of the day, you save your project, you compile it, you test it out, everything's awesome. Great. Tuck it away, submit it, whatever you're doing. A couple months later, you come back to that same file. Something needs to be updated. Well, you get back in there and it's like, well, you know, it's been several months since I've been in this file and I can't remember why I did it this way. Perhaps you've learned new techniques between that time and now, and it's like, well, what was I thinking when I wrote this code? Or maybe you've inherited code, a block of code, or a Python file from a coworker, or you downloaded something online and you're trying to put that in your code. Well, without comments, some types of notes left behind, you may be sitting there trying to figure out, going through code line at a time, figuring out why they did something, or why you did it, or why is this happening? Why did I do it this way? That type of deal. Leave comments, leave notes inside of your code. Okay? Always a good practice. Okay? Now, inside of Python, there's specific characters that we use to denote that something is a comment. It's not a piece of code. It's not going to execute. It's just notes left behind by the creator or maintainer of the code. Now, for single lines of code inside of Python, I can use the pound symbol. So I can say pound, this is a comment. I can place that above and below codes, blocks of code, whatever. I could put it in line. So I can say something like this prints the results. Oops, results. Something like that. These are single lines of code or single lines of comment. Now, if I go ahead and save this, and let's go ahead and F5 to run the module. All right, I get my restart, I get my 30. These guys are just comments. That's it. Nothing else. But pound symbol, write out your comment. Okay. If I were to come up here and hit my enter key and expect to continue writing a comment, this is the continuation of the comment. All right, I misspelled that. Continuation. I don't know, my spelling's horrible. But look at that. You see how it took the is and turned that kind of orange color? That's a key word inside of Python. It's not reading that as a comment. You'll notice the comments here are all red. So if I rerun this, I save and F5. Oop, invalid syntax. It didn't like that. All right. So in order for me to turn that into a comment, I got to either use the pound symbol again, which turns that into a comment, or I can do a multi-line comment inside of Python. And you do that, let me get rid of these pound symbols, by using 3 consecutive double quotes. So double, double, double. See how it turned it all green? Well, I don't want everything to be green. This should be regular code. This should be a comment here. So I start it with 3 double quotes, and then I end it with the 3 double quotes. And now that's a multi-line comment right there. Let's just save it and run it just to test it. And there's my 30 again. So always a good idea. Leave comments inside your code, right? You don't want to get totally bogged down by it, but leave some notes behind for yourself, for coworkers. You know, just think about yourself, and as you inherit work from other people, if they don't leave you any types of notes, you're going to spend the day trying to figure out what's going on in there. And especially if there's an error, right? What happened here? Where should I be looking? All right. So try it out. Leave some comments in there. Do single line, do inline comments, and try some multi-line comments as well. Remember the 3 double quotes. Okay? All right. Try that out.